What's up, everybody? Happy New Year. Another episode of Mike and Ant podcast. I'm your host, Expected Ant, with my boy, my Miz. What's going on?
Chilling, my brother. Let's get into this Hall of Fame stuff. I mean, get Holt in the Hall of Fame. It's about goddamn time. But let's go ahead, bro.
All right, so as we've been talking about the Hall of Fame since they originally they voted on 130, then they cut it down to 26. Now they're down to 15. So let me pull up the names here. But if this shit will pop up, I don't know what's taking so long.
Our boy's still standing. I know that.
Yeah, Torrey Holtz made the list. So here's the list of names. We have Willie Anderson of the Cincinnati Bengals, Drew Brees of the New Orleans Saints and San Diego Chargers, Jahari Evans of the New Orleans Saints, Larry Fitzgerald of the Arizona Cardinals, Frank Gore of the San Francisco 49ers and the Buffalo Bills, Torrey Holt of the St. Louis Rams and the Jacksonville Jaguars, Luke Kuechly, Carolina Panthers, Eli Manning, New York Giants, Terrell Suggs with the Baltimore Ravens and Kansas City Chiefs, Adam Vinatieri with the Indianapolis Colts and the New England Patriots, Reggie Wayne with the Indianapolis Colts and the New England Patriots, Kevin Williams with the Minnesota Vikings, Jason Witten of the Dallas Cowboys, Darren Woodson of the Dallas Cowboys, Marshall Yonda of the Baltimore Ravens, and then for the coach, we have Bill Belichick of the New England Patriots, Cleveland Browns. He also won two Super Bowls as defensive coordinator with the New York Giants, and he's also the defensive coordinator of the New England Patriots when Bill Parcells was the coach. So, me personally, I feel like there's five locks. That's Belichick, Vinatieri, Drew Brees, Eli Manning, and Larry Fitzgerald. So at least three more spots. And for me, for those three spots, I'm gonna have to go with. I think they're gonna put in Terrell Suggs. I think he gets in only because Ed Reed and Ray Lewis are already in. I think they're gonna put him in as well. I think Torrey Holt finally gets in, and then I think they finally put in Darren Woodson because he's been waiting the longest out of all these players.
I like that. I like that list. And I think out of the players you name, majority of them are locks. I do believe Bill Belichick's a lock, absolutely. Vinny's a lock, absolutely. Drew Brees a lock. I don't really believe Eli Manning should be a lock, but I do believe he'll be a lock. So that's
Eli Manning is interesting because we always talk about, well, not we, but people always talk about how important the playoffs are. And so if we're just gonna go off like regular season, yeah, Eli Manning's pretty much average. But postseason, he's one of the greatest playoff quarterbacks of all time, and he has two Super Bowls. So are we gonna? So if I think if he gets in, it's only because of what he did in the playoffs, not so much what he did in the regular season. And
I
then I think it'll show does the voters do they really put an emphasis on the playoffs as they say they do on TV?
I'll double you down, bro, because I think there's two more reasons why they do. And it's gonna be because his last name
Yeah,
and because who he beat in those Super Bowls. So I think that those will be heavy factors into this, along with what you say.
yeah, because I mean we all say Tom Brady's the GOAT, but the GOAT never beat Eli.
Not in the big game. Andy's a
Oh,
man.
yeah, I think even still, even the regular season, I think they only beat him like one time.
Yeah, so I'd say these are the reasons why Manning gets in. It's not just the rings, it's because who he beat, it's what family he is, it's the postseason stuff, because nothing in the regular season says that he should even be a Hall of Famer.
Also, too, do you think what helps his case is that he didn't play with another Hall of Famer? The only Hall of Famer he played with was Michael Strahan, but that was towards the end of Strahan's career. So
Fair to
Eli
say.
Strahan
I
played
mean, there's some other guys you could make arguments for. Do I believe they're Hall of Famers? Probably not. I don't believe he's a Hall of Famer.
no, I'm,
So
no, but I'm saying though, like, do you think the fact that he didn't, like a lot of quarterbacks who get into the Hall of Fame, they either had like Hall of Fame receivers, Hall of Fame running backs. Eli didn't have any of that. So do you think that helps in his works in his favor?
I want to say that I mean, I listen, man. I know he didn't play with Hall of Famers, but like I said, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. So I don't. I mean, I guess there's a discussion to be made there. I it's it. I don't know, man. I can't find it, but I'm gonna put him there because
Yeah,
the rings and who he beat.
yeah, but like I said, I just think it's interesting because with Drew Brees, you're going strictly off regular season. With Eli, it's strictly postseason. It's like Drew Brees' numbers in the regular season and Eli's numbers it's not the same. But at the same time, Eli in the playoffs and then Drew Brees in the playoffs, like Eli is up here and Drew Brees is like down here. It's like they're not the
Yeah,
same.
but I also want to say Drew Brees won a playoff run in the Super Bowl. Eli coasted, so
I mean,
that's
until Joe Flacco broke his record, Eli had the greatest postseason run ever.
I understand. But I also know that he really was like a 9-8, 8-9, or 9-7 type of team that
Yeah, that's,
coasted.
that's what I'm saying. Like if you
Like,
just want,
but
yeah, because they were like a 9-17 when they beat the undefeated Patriots. I
like
believe.
I seen, I when Drew Brees and the Saints got into the playoffs, they didn't have no dominant defense. We knew it was gonna ride or die with Breeze.
Yeah,
Like I don't think Eli was ever capable of doing something like that. So I know it's one ring, but I'm also the guy that argues Dan Marino is better than a lot of these guys, and he has no rings. So I don't really get into that ring culture stuff that you've brought up, a bunch of
no, I
times. It's
wasn't even bringing up the rings. I'm just talking about like statistically, Eli's one of the better postseason quarterbacks ever.
oh, for
If
sure.
if you put his numbers in the playoffs amongst some of the greats, like
Yeah.
Eli's up there. That's what I'm saying. Like
Oh,
with
I
Eli,
know.
it's interesting because he doesn't have the numbers in the regular season. If we're gonna just go off playoffs, it's like he has to be in the Hall of Fame. It's like when the playoffs turn on. Like once the playoffs start, it's like Eli turns into like fucking a combination of Joe Montana, Tom
And
Brady.
he has a couple of the best passes in NFL history, even though they wasn't good passes.
Like all of a sudden, like Eli just turns into like a whole nother person come playoff time. I never seen anything like.
I agree. Well, I guess the thing I would ask you is this: throw everything out the window and whatever you think is these two quarterbacks' best games, put them on. Do you think Eli's as good as Breeze?
Actually, I think Eli's is better because to me that 2011 NFC Championship game against the Niners, I've never seen. That's probably one of the best games I've ever seen a quarterback play. The way Eli got his ass kicked in that game, he just made every throw, every play. He never complained. I mean, he pretty much single handedly. I won't say single handedly, but he balled out in that game. That's probably better than any Drew Brees game I've ever seen.
Well, I'd put it like this: Drew Brees has led top scoring offenses with a bunch of guys that he makes look good that leave that don't do anything.
Yeah,
So
that's my whole argument. It's like it's one you're either arguing for regular season or playoffs.
no, I'm just talking about when I see these two guys play. One of
Mhm.
them has looked like a Hall of Famer. One of them, I don't know, bro. He has that I don't know what's going on face look more than he doesn't.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying with Eli. Like it's because I agree with you, but with him, like I have to. Are we looking at that's what I'm saying with him is like we keep saying the playoffs is all that matters. Well, if the playoffs are all that matters, then Eli
Well,
has to be.
well, put it like this, right? I'll give you a stat to look at. How much did those Eli Manning Giants teams average in points in this playoff runs? How much did his defense let up in those playoff runs? Because I know he won Super Bowls like 14, 17 point averages, right?
Let me pull it up.
Yep. And then check Drew Brees. Because with just going off of history, Drew Brees might have averaged 35 in the playoffs. Manning only needed 17 to win. So I get it. And you remember too, if you erase that oh my god, why can't I can't what
All
um
right, the Giants in 2007
uh,
averaged during their playoff run they averaged 22 points per game,
yeah,
but their defense only allowed 16 points per game.
yeah.
Then Their second Super Bowl, the 2011. In 2011, the offense was actually better. The offense averaged 25 points per game. Their defense though gave up 24 points per game, so the defense wasn't as good in 2011. That was mostly the offense.
Hmm.
And then Drew Brees, in 2009, the only year Drew Brees made a long playoff run, the Saints during that playoff run averaged 35 points per game.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like they not the same play on offense, and you can't find Hall of Famers that played with him neither.
Yeah, not offensively. I mean, let's
Meacham,
Marcus
Colston. I remember all these guys. I like them all. They're not Reggie Bush.
nah.
None of these guys are all worldly. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing. Like now, what did his defense let up?
Well, the year they won the Super Bowl, and that's the only year they went on a long playoff
Yeah,
run. That was the Bounty Gate year.
yeah. So, but how much did they let up though, Mister Greg Williams?
Yeah, and then Kurt Warner's career and try to take out Brett Favre.
Uh, Bitch
The
ass.
defense allowed 22 points per game.
Not bad. But 35 is kind of what I was leaning towards. Like Breeze always puts up points. We knew that about. That's why his yards are through the roof. That's why he has a lot of records. That's why, and I'm not knocking Eli. I think Eli lived more off his defense in his name than his actual play. Like, cause even if you take away that man in him catch on the sideline, and you take away the other catch, which David Tyree caught, did you really play good? Or did the defense hold you in it long enough for a miracle to happen? Because you got two miracles on 34th Street. You got two of them. Like now, if he lost both those Super Bowls, I don't think we would be having this discussion. But the thing is, the defense kept Tom Brady, I think, 14 points in one game and gave you the chance to win at the end.
Yeah, they in the two Super Bowls they held the Patriots in one of them to 14 points, and then the second one they held them to 17.
Yeah. So bottom line is, I think it was more about that defense figured out Tom Brady more than anything. And Eli's an NFL quarterback. So it's like if you give him enough chances, of course he's gonna get you. You know what I'm saying? But had Drew Brees had all those chances, he might have dropped 50 on you, is all I'm saying.
And like, but also too, in during the playoff run, like Eli did put up 45 against Green Bay.
He did. He did. And in a pressure cooker. So I'm not knocking him. I think that his playoff runs along with Joe Flacco are some of the most impressive playoff runs I've ever seen in my life. But I also know that typically they're not always that. They're more likely not that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah, that's why I said like I agree with everything you're saying, but I
mm,
think the reason why Eli gets in
I
is
think
because
he gets
they're
into
gonna look, I think because they're gonna look at what he did in the playoffs.
yep. And I believe not just what he did in the playoffs, who he beat in the playoffs
Yeah,
is gonna hold weight. And I also think his name holds a little bit weight too.
because
Um,
yeah, not only did he beat Brady twice, but also look at the players he beat along the way.
Rodgers,
He
yeah.
beat Rodgers. You know,
Hmm.
he beat Matt Ryan. He's beaten all these top quarterbacks.
I guess the thing is this: he deserves, especially on this list of the people that was candidate, he deserves to get in the Hall of Fame. I don't think that anybody's debating that. I just don't know if he was always playing Hall of Fame level quarterback. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I have him as one of my 5 locks.
Yeah, he's one of my top. He's one of my only four locks. I don't even have five locks. I have four.
Okay, well you just named Belichick, Vinatieri, and then
Breeze and
Breeze and
Eli.
Brady. So who's the other 4 then?
All right, those are my only four locks that I have. I think a lot of the rest of this list is up for debate, and it's who's voting, right? Um, we talked a while ago, and we were saying Larry Fitzgerald is an absolute first ballot, but I believe Wayne and Hope both had their cases too, and it didn't happen for one reason or another. So I believe we may have shot the gun a little early. Them two guys may get in before him. So maybe both of them get in this year and he waits till next year. Maybe one of them and him get in this year and one of them waits till next year. I just don't believe he's a lock no more. I don't think any of those wide receivers are a lock. I don't I
There's only three of them.
I don't yeah, and I don't think any of them are a lock, which is Holt, Wayne, and Fitzgerald. I don't think any one of these guys are a lock. I think there's a chance two of them get in. I think there's a chance three of them get in. I think there's a chance one of them gets in. There's probably also a small chance none of them get in. So I don't think any of them are locks. So I'm gonna stick with the two quarterbacks. I'm gonna stick with the kicker and the coach. Now, where I'm leaning after that, I think Luke Kuechly gets in. I'm gonna tell you why. He played a 9-year career, 2 seasons, really injured at 7. But I think that if he can't get in with the all worldly numbers he put in that
Oh,
in
correction,
those 9,
he didn't play 9 years, he only played 7.
yeah, I know, yeah, because he had injuries for two
No, no, I mean,
years.
even with the injuries that he only
Oh, even
played
with
7 years. Yeah.
bottom line, I may have misread that, but my thing is this, right? If you can't get in with a short, great career, and I know TD kind of had this argument back in the days before, and it took
But
whatever.
that's why it took him like 20 years to get in.
Yeah, but I think that Luke Kuechly at linebacker has a similar career, a little bit less because I don't think he's the best at that position, but it's similar to an Aaron Donald situation. If you could be the best player in the NFL for 7 years, that might just be enough. So I think that he has a real good argument, and I think he'll get in. He'd be my first pick out of the next four that I think gets in is Luke Kuechly, right?
The only reason I didn't, I think they'll use that against Luke Kuechly, 'cause like you mentioned, Terrell Davis, it took him 20 years to get in, and their argument was he only played, like 8 years. And I think though the fact that Kuechly only played 7, I think they might hold that over his head. And I think he's the one that will have to wait 20 years, just like TD did, to finally get in.
It's a possibility, but I just think that they're gonna prepare people for the Aaron Donald first ballot, where it's like we just go get rid of this argument now.
At
So
least
that
AD played 10 years though.
I know, but I just think that he's the guy here that screams first ballot Hall of Famer when I look at this list outside of the guys I already mentioned, right? Um, After him, I think one of these linemen are gonna get in. I'm gonna go with the longevity award. I'm gonna go with Willie Anderson. I'm gonna say that he gets in this year. So
Yeah, let me look him up and see when did he play.
yeah, it's been he. I was a little kid when he was playing.
Yeah, for the Bengals.
Yeah, I was real little kid. He's got to be the longest waiting player on this list that I'm looking at.
No, that'll be Daryl
Well,
Woodson.
yeah, Darren, but I mean, yeah, more
Yeah,
premier,
Willie Anderson retired in 2008.
more. I think more premier position. Like I told you, I don't think safety is a priority to get into Hall of Fame. I should have said that different, but I don't think that Darren Woodson is a priority. I even double down. I don't believe he gets in. Mm.
Yeah, but Willie Anderson playing right tackle instead of left tackle, you think that makes a difference?
I think it should, but I don't think it will. I think that I think that this longevity vote comes down to him or Darren Woodson, and I think that the offensive lineman will get the nod. That's just where I'm leaning, but it's kind of tomato tomato. I feel like you could flip a coin there, and probably whatever it lands on, it is what it is. Um, my last two guys is where it gets difficult. I'm gonna put in two wide receivers. I'm gonna put in Torrey Holt, and I'm gonna put in Larry Fitzgerald. Those are gonna be my last two picks. Um, but like I said, I believe that there's a chance none of these guys get in, two of them or all three of them. I just think that whole it's about damn time, and I think Larry Fitzgerald will get that first ballot vote. But I wouldn't be surprised if Fitz don't get in, Holt does. I also wouldn't be surprised if Wayne and Holt get in and Fitz doesn't. And it's bro, you got this next year type of situation. So those are gonna be the ones that I'm gonna go with.
All right, yeah. I mean, I like your list. The only one I have no argument against Willie Anderson. I just feel like as far as the longevity one, I'll just go with Darren Woodson only because
Yeah,
he's on the Cowboys dynasty
I
and
think
he's waiting longer.
yeah, I think he's also the better player when it comes down to it. I just and it maybe it's not Willie Anderson. Maybe they put Yonda. Maybe they put Kevin Williams. I just think that one of these linemen will get in, and I think that they'll prioritize linemen over safety. And that's why I really don't like the way they do the Hall of Fame. To be honest with you, I think
Yeah,
that
Kevin Williams was a deep tackle. Um, for Yonda, I guess for Yonda and
yeah,
even
I don't excuse me. I don't mean lineman like offensive lineman. I just mean
oh yeah, in general, yeah.
you're just like a lineman in general.
No, but I was gonna say for the offensive lineman, if you want to go Yonda and Jahari Evans over Willie Anderson, I guess the only argument those two have over Willie Anderson is they both have the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean, I
if I was voting, I'd have a completely different list because I think there's 8 superstars on this list that scream at you, and I probably would be more likely to put players than coaches. So I would,
players that were on the original list that didn't make it to this list that I think they should have kept, but they
yeah.
took it out.
Which ones you got?
Well, we talked about it off air, but I would have put Marshawn Lynch over Frank Gore for
Oh,
running.
for sure.
Um, I thought for the offensive line anyway, we both thought Lomas Brown was going to get in. He's been
Absolutely.
waiting longer than Darren Woodson.
Yeah, Lomas Brown was a stud too.
Yeah, and he was left tackle, but he didn't make it. So those are just two off the top of my head. Also two Cam Chancellor, I thought he deserved it.
Yeah.
Like you said, they don't really put an emphasis on safety, so maybe that's why.
Yep. And Cam Chancellor was definitely a better player than Darren Woodson.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I just think for Derek Woodson is long overdue. And when you look at that Cowboys dynasty, I think he might be the only one left that's not in the Hall of Fame.
But that's why I think sometimes you just got to get put in after a certain amount of time because he shouldn't really be taking spots from like first ballot guys, you know?
Yeah, because I mean, like he played back in the '90s. You talk about a guy that's waited like almost 30 years now.
Well, before we wrap this up, because I know you got to jump in the kitchen and do some things. Give me the 8 you would personally pick out of these ones that are left. Not the ones that you think is gonna get picked. Which ones you would pick?
Okay, that's okay. So out of these 15,
Yeah,
well, 16 if we include Belichick. Um, Obviously Belichick gets in.
yeah,
Uh, Even though he's a kicker, I still put Vinatieri.
have to. Yeah,
Yeah,
6 spots.
okay. That's I put Terrell Suggs. I'll have Larry Fitzgerald. I think all three wide receivers get in. Well, I said Fitzgerald already, so I put Holden, Rain.
Yeah,
What is that? Uh, and I think Drew Brees gets in. And then even though I don't think he will get in, I think Luke Kuechly.
I see if yeah, I like your list because if I had to pick the 8 that I would put in, say it was just up to me. Vinny and Belichick is getting in. That's happening. And we talked about Wolfork. He might have got snubbed,
Oh
but
yeah, he's another one.
he might have got snubbed.
They
But
voted out. Yeah,
yeah, but
actually, out of the deep tackles, I would have put Wilford over Kevin Williams.
I agree. That's why I said that. But those two guys definitely get in when we talk about Vinny and Belichick. I will put the two quarterbacks in too. Um, 3 Super Bowls amongst the two guys. Forget the stats. I put them both in. That's 4, right? I'm putting in all 3 wide receivers. I think all 3 of these guys are Hall of Fame guys,
That's
and they
7.
scream that at you over everybody else on this list. And then my last spot, And it's a difficult one because I love both these guys, and I would honestly just flip a coin. It would come down to Keekly and Suggs. I mean, you flip the coin. I probably would favor Suggs because he got the rings and he got a longer career. Oh,
See that's what I was thinking because they Terrell Suggs, even though he was an edge rusher, they have him listed as a linebacker.
yeah, outside linebacker. Yep,
Yeah. So if you're gonna have linebacker versus linebacker, I think Suggs gets the edge because he did play longer.
and a better defense too. A
And
way
yeah,
better,
he
yeah,
plays a better defense. And then I mean, technically he has 2 Super Bowls, even though I don't feel like he earned the second one because
yeah.
he was riding the bench on Kansas City.
It's all right. It's all
But
right. Bottom line is, I think that's the
already
eight, though. I think it's the two quarterbacks, the three wide receivers, the coach, the kicker, and Suggs. I think that would be if you was trying to do your best eight, and you're not trying to manipulate positions. I think that probably be the best eight and the best eight players on the list.
yeah, and I mean even with your list, I agree. But yeah, I mean, yeah, actually I forgot all about Vince Wilfork, but yeah, now I'm looking at it, he's another one that
Yeah, he probably deserved to be there over Williams for sure.
if they had to pick one D tackle, I would have went with him over Kevin Williams.
Yeah, because he was part of a dynasty.
Yeah,
So
and the argument for Wilfork is the same argument too for Darren Woodson.
yep, yep. I do think there was also some other players, and this is what lead me to believe like a Anderson or a Williams or one of these type of guys to get in because they definitely left some guy. They definitely snubbed some guys to get some of these older guys on here, which gives me reason to believe they might win. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what I'm looking at. But I think that over anything,
The 4 older guys would be, as far as who's been waiting the longest,
yeah,
would be Kevin
Woodson,
Woodson, Willie Anderson, Torrey Holt, and Reggie Wayne.
yeah. Yep, and then that's and that. But what I mean is this: I think Wayne and Holt was always deserving. So not gonna use the age against them. When I'm saying age, I'm looking at the Andersons, the Kevin Williams, the Darren Woodsons, the Frank Gores, the Evans. These are guys that it's like you wasn't the best player on the field, like probably not at one point in your career ever. So
Yeah, I
that
mean, even Kevin Williams though, like when have we ever talked about the Minnesota Vikings having like a top 5 or top 2
And
defense?
this is what I'm trying to tell you. So that's why it's like, bro, I can't in good faith. Like when I look at Drew Brees, I see first ballot. When I look at Fitz, Holt, Wayne, I see first ballot. When I see Eli, you no matter what you say, I see first ballot. Suggs, Vinny, Keekly, and Belichick, these are only people. So there's really, in my mind, one you can get rid of. These other guys, it's like, there's a reason why they're sitting there. You know what I'm saying? And it's not the Tory Holt reason. Like they've been sitting there because some people probably don't know who you are. Just to be fair.
Yeah, and then we talked about this off air, but I'll say it on air. I don't think he gets in, but I'll say one dark horse is Jason Witten. He played for the Cowboys, and the media votes for this, and I know the media likes him, so he might get some votes.
How
He,
about this?
of course,
Double down. If I was voting, he'd get my vote over Woodson. And the reason being is because Witten has an argument to be a top 10 best tight end of all time. Darren Woodson probably wouldn't even be a top 10 safety right now. So that's
yeah, I think for Darren Woodson, the only argument, and we have to go back because I can't remember like the top safeties in the '90s.
oh no,
The argument is
he
he's
was
one
one
of
of
the safeties of his era,
yeah,
and he won. He was part of a dynasty.
yeah, he was. He was. I just look at it like this. Um, even though Witten didn't get the rings he got, Witten might have been more important to those Cowboys teams he was on than Woodson was to those championship teams he was on.
I mean, he got most of the targets. He was Tony Romo's favorite weapon.
So
He got
understand what
more
I'm telling you.
targets than Des Bryant.
So my thing is when you got an argument to be a top 10 tight end all time, and the guy might not be top 50. safeties all time, I'd probably lean my vote towards Jason Witten. That's all I'm saying. And I ain't knocking Woodson because I liked him. You know what I'm saying? But it just comes down to like, and that's my problem with like Wayne was top probably five best wide receivers in the NFL at one point. Holt definitely was. Fitz definitely was. To snub these guys over dudes that was what top 30 guards in their era, like top 30. I don't know.
Yeah, see, I think for Holton Wayne, it's I think I don't know how the voters look at it, but the fact that Isaac Bruce and Marvin Harrison both got in first ballot, but yeah, Torrey Holt and Reggie Wayne have to wait. Like, part of me thinks like they use the fact that they played with these guys against them.
And I would agree with the Harrison first ballot. As a Rams fan, I don't know if I necessarily agree with the Bruce one. Um, Bruce wasn't as good as Holt. Like any Rams fan that was old enough to watch those two on the field together, the greatest show started when Torrey got there. Warner got in. Like as Hakeem, Tony Horn, like just on kick returns. But this was Marshall Falk, the trade from the Colts. Like so, um, I
Yeah,
know
people
Bruce
forget
was
Isaac Bruce. He started out with the LA Rams.
Yeah, I know Bruce was the X. I get that. But who made the circus catches? Who made us the greatest show on turf? It wasn't him. That's all
No,
I'm gonna say.
my point was that Bruce, he was there during all the losing years too.
I know, but that's why I feel like he got more of the longevity than the worthy vote. It also could come down to when you go in versus when you don't. I get that. But Torrey Holt was always the better player when they was on the Rams. It just is what it is. So for him to be waiting is crazy. That's all I'm saying.
And then yeah, and then for Reggie Wayne, I just it blows my mind that he's waiting too.
I do agree with you though. I do think they are holding that against them, but I also believe it's silly. I mean, it's stupid argument. Like the realistic point of it is Fitzgerald wasn't the one for most of his career. Like you halfway through your career, you became who you were a couple years into your career, but it's not like you jumped off the gun and you was this big one
But
off
for
the rip.
Fitzgerald, when he first got there, Anquan Bolden was the one.
This is my thing. So it's like, so that's why I'm telling you, I'm starting to see like, oh, so you holding that against players. So yeah, Fitz is waiting. Not Holt. Like one of these guys deserve to get in and Fitz could do the same thing. See now you're holding that against them. That's how I look at it. That's exactly why I look at it like that. He didn't come out as the one. So
The only pushback though would be Anquan Bolden's on the Hall of Fame.
cool. That's cool. But at the same token, that really doesn't knock the receiver. Show me your best 10 years versus Torio's best 10 years. Show me the jewelry. Who got the ring?
Yeah, it's Hope
Yeah.
and Wayne.
Yeah. So this what I'm telling you. So we got the jewelry. We actually got the better numbers probably in our best 10-year period. And we're waiting. That's why I'm starting to think like, I don't know. I might have bit the bullet thinking that Fitzgerald was a lock. He might be just the next guy where we're talking about the next 2, 3 years. Like, damn, he's snug. He's waiting because they got to get these other guys in. It's time, bro. I mean, like, I do believe it'll be Holt and Fitz, but I wouldn't be mad if they put in Holt and Wayne and make Fitz wait. That might be the better option.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. They're gonna announce the winners on February 6th. So we'll see. We have like one more month away.
We'll
But in
see.
the meantime, where can well no, yeah, go ahead. The sponsor Doobie Energy.
Let's dump the sponsor. Before we do that, make sure everybody likes, subscribes, and comments on the video. Also jump on over to X, follow at Mob Squad 508 and at Inspector underscore Ant to jump on both our pages. And then scan the QR code and put in the code Mob Squad 508 to get 10% off all your W Energy purchases for when you got to stay up late night on the East Coast listening to us ramble. But, bro, let us know. let them know where else to listen to us.
They go. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, and Amazon Music. And you can like and subscribe to us on YouTube as well.
Absolutely. Well, listen, if you're free later, holla at me. Other than that, throw your food game down and we'll chop it up in the morning, bro.
All right. Peace.
Happy New Year again, brother.
Happy New Year.
Yes, sir.